Let's just get started, okay? I think we'll just go with our just standard meditation mandala today. Let's start with in the middle. Let's start with a star today, something different. And stars are not the easiest things to make, but I usually just start with a triangle. And then I make a triangle on either side. And then a triangle for each leg. And you usually end up with a pretty decent star that way. And let's see, what shall we put next? Let's put like some half circles in between the little legs of our star, arms of our star, prongs of our star. Remembering to focus on our lines, have our start and stop points, keeping it very mindful. Let's see. Let's make some chubby triangles coming up from there. And turn my paper. Be kind to my wrist. Also, it just makes it much easier to draw the lines and shapes when you're not having to cock your wrist all around in all kinds of crazy positions. There we go. Let's see. Let's try something asymmetric today. Let's go from here and let's make okay, I'm gonna make 3 points and we're gonna follow those. And I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. So I'm gonna make a point here and make a point here. And then let's see, make a point here. And we'll see how that works out. So I'm gonna do a curved line just from here up here, and then like that. So to recreate that, we put one just at the bottom here, one just at the top here, and a dot just going off the center here. I am in a constant struggle of coughing recently. I think that I may have developed a mold allergy. And that's the only thing I could figure, because just usually when I go outside, it flares up, and mold in Austin here right now is really high. So that's the only thing I can think of, but it's driving me crazy. I've never had allergies before, so don't know how to deal with this. All right, are we continuing around? Ready, again, just at the bottom of one, the top of the other, and we'll just bring our little dot straight up. And just use those as guidelines, and especially on these kind of asymmetric shapes, it's so much easier to make little guide lines or guide dots, because otherwise it gets very confusing as to, especially after you have several of them down, as to exactly where your lines should go and things like that. So let's see, we'll bring that around. We kind of got a pinwheel thing going, don't we? Looks kind of cool. Let's see. What shall we do? Now, the trick is when you do this kind of thing is recovering from it, right? So where do you go from here that doesn't just become pure chaos? what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to just, you know, somewhere along the top here, I'm going to draw another shape right around here. So we're just going to like give that a little bulk in the middle here. And hopefully make it easier for us to build some more shapes on the outside of it. Let's see, it's actually something that you could keep doing. That might be kind of fun to just keep kind of spiraling it around. You'd have a very spirally sort of mandala. But we won't do that today because that can get very confusing on all where your lines are going and which shapes you should be making next. So let's see, what we can do now is let's throw in some, oh, what shall we do? Okay, let's take and we'll make some just triangles, and we'll just go from the corner here to maybe, you know, somewhere like, you know, 2/3 of the way over, and just make our chubby triangle. And that will kind of bring us back in to a more regular mandala shape. This one's getting a little crazy, that's for sure. I'm always surprised when I do these kind of things, like how is this going to come at it in the end? And a lot of times it comes out really, really cool. Every once in a while it looks like, you know, a big hot mess, but but again, we are not even worried about that because it's the process that we're focused on. Staying mindful of our task and of our lines, clearing our head a little, letting go of the day and the problems. And let's see, let's just go ahead and we're going to make our sort of not quite straight line going from the top of each one. So just that kind of curved line going around. And again, just because we'll join those and it'll be almost like kind of a circle going around the back. And just from the top and top, you can give yourself a little guide like I'm doing, or you can just sort of eyeball it. Either way is fine. And there we go. Now we've made kind of a nice circle behind our mandala. Now, what to do next? Since we have something kind of crazy going in here, I feel like we need to kind of do something a little bit different on the outside. I'm just not quite sure what that is. How about if we, you know what I'm going to do? Just because I want a little bit more weight, I'm just going to do a secondary line on here. Just because I feel like it just needs a little weightiness. And you could fill this in and make it just a really thick line if you want, or just leave it like a double line. There we go. And then on top of that, I think that I just want to make some, you know what, let's make like some kind of flamey sort of organic shapes going around. So we'll just start, you know, at the corner and just kind of make like this. So see, I'm just kind of making random little curly kind of flame looking lines. These aren't so easy to make, I understand. So just however they turn out for you is good, and probably by the time you get around to several of them, they'll be looking much better after your hand kind of gets used to what we're trying to do. And one thing when you're making these is to kind of vary the height of the little points, and also vary the height of where the little you know, kind of bendy parts are. I don't even know what you'd call that, like the, you know, the lower parts. So, you know, have some, you know, come up higher and some lower, and that will help it look kind of more flame-like. And actually this kind of movement could take a while. Try and just decide if I want to continue out through. Hello, Deborah. Thank you for joining. I've got a little bit of a kind of crazy mandala going on today. Doing them every day, I start to get a little bit, you know, bored of doing the same shapes, and I'm sure those who follow along with me every day kind of do too. So I like to shake things up and put in some crazy shapes, like my little flames here. There we go. And let's see, one more. What time is it? Okay, I've got a few more minutes. Let's do this last one, and then we'll call it outline done, and we'll put in a little bit of filler. And again, just I'm getting much smaller, I can see from where I started, but that's okay. I tend to like my detail, so I will do that a lot of times. I'll get more and more detailed as I go on. Let's see. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. That is definitely an alternative style mandala. Let's see. What shall we do? I want to put in, thinking about what to fill in here. Let's go ahead and just kind of emphasize these little pinwheel points, and actually I'm going to start from the tip here and just make a couple stripes going down. So just following the same line, just putting a couple of more in right in the middle of them. There we go. And then next, what shall we do? Let's put in, I'm going to put in let's do like a smaller triangle in the tips of these triangles here. So I'm not turning my paper, and that's okay, my wrist is in the same position, but it is a little bit more difficult for me to make these shapes going around. So go ahead and turn your paper. When I can get away with not turning my paper doing these, I can, because just the position with a camera, it's like keeps banging on the my side of my table, and it's a pain. So if I can get away with not turning, I will. But I also really, my wrist gets sore, so as much as I can, I do. Let's see. How about, okay, let's do something in our star here. So I'm going to make a dot right in the middle of the star, and I'm going to bring lines out from that dot to the tip of each of these star, what did we establish? Legs, arms, prongs, something. There we go. All right. And if we want, we can also put one going to the little meeting points here. And doing that with a star makes it look very 3D. And it could even be more so if we take, let's see, let's just one side. Why don't we fill in one side? They're small enough. So remember again, when you're filling in spaces, now, and fill in the same side of each. So as you're looking at it, I'm filling in the right-hand side. So when I do this one, I'll fill in the right-hand side. And when you're filling in, remember to still kind of be very aware of your line work. Don't let yourself get in a rush. Filling in can get, a little monotonous. So we need to be super, super aware of the marks that we're making. Think about, as you're tracing or making sort of back and forth movements to fill in, just to make sure that we're staying very mindful of our pen strokes, the pigment being laid down on the paper. There. Let's see, I just have a couple more minutes. We spent a lot of time on those flames, so not a lot of time to fill in. Let's see, if we want, we can throw some organic stuff in there. So I'm going to take from just the base here where our little pinwheel thing starts, and I'm just going to make some little kind of vines. And just however feels right, fill that in. And I know, just to add a little, I feel like we're getting awful hard here. I need to, going away from my roots, I need to throw in some organic shapes. go. And you can continue those around at all of them. Let's see, another minute. What else can we do? Let's, what other, different thing that we can do that I don't think I've done in the past is in this space here, we can fill in with like a zigzag line. So you see that? So we're just making kind of like, triangle lines or zigzag lines going across. And I'm actually thinking, since we have kind of our, star filled in that way, I want to sort of fill in our triangles this way too. And I'm going to, go on the outside and I'm going to fill in just part of this, the one outer half of our zigzag. All right, and I will not have time to finish this. You guys can finish up. I need to start wrapping up. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. And if you're watching this now or on replay and drawing a mandala, please share. Just post a picture of it in the comments. I'd love to see. And share this video. I would love to, just reach as many people as possible, and showing them how to do these meditation mandalas, and or even just exposing people to them, to what a mandala is, having them watch me draw. That's also very relaxing. And yeah, that's it. I hope you like our quite different mandala today. And that's it. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Mwah.